I chase doing things that everybody looks at me and says, man, you're crazy for thinking you can do this. I'm like, well, you think I'm crazy.
Correct.
Because you can't do it. But I can.
Unscripted enough to hear what the crowds want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's quiet.
I'm just want to make
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
About
I'll be improv, right?
Cam from 1994 is ready to, all these years later, ready to shop.
You'll look like Lou Ferrigno.
It's going to be awesome.
Hulk.
I'm in.
Just
Green paint and all.
Damn, you do look like the Hulk.
does.
Ready.
He's got that vibe.
Lou Ferrigno, yeah, you hit it spot on.
Thank you.
Oh, you hit it spot
We
on
will
right
talk
there.
more after this episode.
Welcome to the Cam and Joe Show. My name's Joe with my good friend Cam.
Good morning. Happy Friday, buddy.
How's it going, man?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain.
You know, we're about to have some nostalgia bomb drop.
I'm so excited.
This is going to be amazing. So anybody that loves wrestling, we're going to be jumping into all things wrestling. There's a local show going to be hitting up, and this guy's got so much experience and so much stuff to talk about. We've been talking off camera, and I'm just super excited to get him on. We got Zack Reeb in the house. What's up, my man?
What's going on, guys?
Thank you for being here, big dog.
Thank you guys for having me. And we've talked about so much already, so
No, so let's just take it to the beginning, man. How'd you get into all this stuff?
like I was saying, I've always watched wrestling.
Yeah.
And then at about 17 years of age, I was a senior at Marysville High School, and I got to do a senior project.
Yeah.
And I never missed a day of school. Perfect attendance.
Yeah.
But they said I had ADD, so I really didn't pay attention. Well, civics and econ and
Sure.
PE, stuff like that I was really into. And I was like a D student.
Yeah.
And I had to do a 10-page essay and then a 10-page presentation. And then we rented a ring from L.A. And we got the Lesta Huber Gymnasium at Marysville High School.
It's amazing.
And put on a wrestling show, and it was so successful.
As a senior project.
Project.
That's awesome.
And it was so successful that my dad said, hey, go get a job and we'll get a credit card, which later I would find out that credit card would help their credit, but it would never build any credit.
There you go.
That, friends, is called authorized user.
Looking like a loan officer.
Yep, that's right.
But that was it. That's how it started. My parents were very supportive.
Mhm.
My mom hated wrestling, and we called it Pro Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
I grew up on a 10-acre farm in Loma Rica, California. So the school was called the PCW Work Farm. My dad could build anything in the world, so we built wrestling rings, and we helped many companies get started with that. And
It's awesome.
I mean, it just kind of took off from there. And the cool part about this
Yeah.
is that this is where we started, and we've been all over. I mean, we've been to the Shark Tank in San Jose. We've been to the Golden One Center in Sacramento through festivals, right in the middle of the place. But we haven't been back to Marysville
Oh, dude.
in like 20
The origins.
Yeah.
25 years. So it's right across from where I graduated and this all started. So I'm excited about that.
Dude,
awesome.
So what was the bug for you for wrestling? Like who was this is the guy that I watched and went, oh bro, I gotta love this.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh bro.
Hulkamania.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Dude, Hulkmania was huge. Just that was to live back in that time.
I'm smiling like an idiot right now because just like some of these names are taking me back to, like, I'm thinking like so many summers growing up, my cousins would be staying the night, and as soon as my folks would go to bed, we would pull all of the cushions off, and I can picture it. We pull all of the cushions off all of the couches, and we would make a big square, and we make it a ring, and then we would beyond that, we would throw blankets over the top and then tuck the blankets under the corners to where it was like kind of legit. And then we would all like go off and find a closet and then just kind of throw on something crazy. And then what I would always do, because I always wanted shoulders like Goldberg, I would throw on like 3 or 4 shirts up on top and then pull them over my neck. So it made me made it look like I had this like monster trap. And then I would throw a t-shirt on and then throw a robe on, and I would come downstairs and we would just like wrestle. And I was always the youngest. And so it was me that was like getting suplexed and speared and like all these weird, twisty little like. Oh my god!
How many concussions did you get?
Oh, probably more than a couple.
Well, I'm just
like,
checking. I'm just making sure because it's not wrestling unless
exactly until there's a little bit of a potential actual injury there. But the what we're talking. I mean, right now we're bringing up just like some gold memories right now, and it's so cool because right now we're talking about tapping back into it. Not only that, but showcasing some of that for newer generations that maybe didn't have those kind of experiences.
That's how we all started.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying right there, that's where my memories go back to.
Straight up.
I had little yellow underwear that my dad bought me. I had yellow bike knee pads, and I had some high yellow soccer socks. No, actually I had red knee pads because Hogan had the red knee pads.
Yep.
And I have pictures of me on their California king size bed, which the damage to my parents' bed came from me. And I had a bear.
Yeah.
That was about my size, and his name was Ted. And I beat the crap out of
Poor Ted.
I probably hit every move imaginable on Ted. My parents just let me do it. And
that's awesome.
We eventually, before I even got this started, me and all my friends we like gathered up. I had a trampoline. We gathered up like in the country. We got 2 other kids had them. We brought them over to my house. We went out and grabbed orchard ladders and everything else. And we started backyard wrestling.
So
like
fun.
Off the top of the orchard ladder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those were our corner posts and our ropes because we didn't have rope. So it all started on a trampoline for me.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. So started on a trampoline, senior project, dad packs a credit card so you could get more into it. What was what happened after that?
Yeah. What were some of those like infantile years of growing this as like you're 17, you just graduated. Give me those next couple years.
The next couple of years, actually, we we started running at the main exhibit building at the Yuba Sutter Fairgrounds.
Yes.
And then we were looking for a trainer the whole time. And probably about a year into this, I met a guy online because it was back with MySpace and all that stuff. So there was a lot of Backyard Wrestling Federation companies. And I met who now is my best friend, Rick O'Shea, and he was from Antioch. And he had a wrestling company called Brawl, the barely regulated amateur wrestling league. Yes. Barely regulated.
That's
and
perfect.
We hooked up with Vacaville Championship Wrestling, and we kind of just came together and merged as one. And it was just one of those things where the trainer came in, started training us. A lot of people fell off because he was a really hard-nosed guy.
Yeah.
And I just stuck with it. And from that, APW, All Pro Wrestling, was the #1 wrestling school. And I was originally going to start with them.
Yeah.
So I was going to go there. That's why my dad said, hey, go do that. But my dad also said, hey, do you really want to drive to Hayward 3 times a week?
Sure, man.
Or do you want me to build you a ring?
Yeah.
We'll hire you a trainer and you can have your own company.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
And back in the day, that was unheard of.
No, absolutely, man.
That kind of support.
That's amazing.
But back in the day, that's unheard of because wrestling was always a really closed off business of these big grown men that smoked cigarettes and drank beer and carried pistols. I mean, they were It was a man's game when I started, and there were already 2 established companies in California. There was Big Time Wrestling in Newark, and then there was All Pro Wrestling in Hayward. So they were in the movie Beyond the Mat.
Okay, yeah.
So when I started PCW, Roland Alexander, Gabe Ramirez, Mike Modest, all these guys, I was a backyard. And since I've been 17, I've had people just clowning on me. You know, you're a backyard wrestler. You can't do this. Your vision, what you're trying to do. And what was funny is 4 years into the business, I ended up going down to All Pro Wrestling. And then they ended up putting me in there with their top guy. And I impressed them so much, they kept bringing me back. So the 2 guys that ran this promotion ended up endorsing my company. They never endorsed anybody else.
That's amazing, man.
They made me the head coach down there, and I spent Roland, he passed away, but he was called the godfather of pro wrestling. I mean, he's been around for years, and he had season tickets to the Warriors game. So
nice.
He was kind of courting me around.
Yeah.
He was kind of courting me. I'd go down there. We'd get in the car. We'd watch some wrestling. We'd head to Baskin Robbins and get a blast. We'd go to the sports bar, grab some fries and a beer, and then we'd head to the game. So I got to watch. He'd always ask me who my favorite players was. I said, LeBron James, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
I'm from Philly, so AI is the guy.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
I got to see AI play twice with the Nuggets, and I got to see LeBron play 2 or 3 times. And I'm pretty sure at that time he was with the Cavaliers. So
Yeah.
it just kept going. They sent me to Japan.
Yeah.
I went to Japan. I went to Portugal. I started traveling around, and then I ran into this problem where, and it's not a problem in wrestling, but I had Mexico with Rey Mysterio Sr. He really liked working with me because I was doing a border patrol gimmick.
Yeah.
And so I had Mexico, I had Puerto Rico, I had all these, back to Japan, I had all these contracts sent to me with quite a bit of cash.
Yeah.
And then I had all the flight itineraries. And I just told my mom, I said, man, I don't want to get on an airplane. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And it was right there for me for the taking.
Sure.
But I didn't like doing that, traveling around. I didn't like doing what wrestling was.
Sure.
As a living.
Yeah, makes sense.
I didn't like it as a job.
Yeah.
I wanted to run my school. I wanted to run my promotion.
I love that,
keep
man.
it more passion.
And the way I look at it, sorry to talk so much, guys.
No,
but
that's
this is it, man.
If I'm a musician and I'm successful, I'm just another musician.
Yeah.
If I'm a comedian and I'm successful, I'm just another comedian.
Yeah.
And if I'm a wrestler that just goes and does it like everyone else, I'm just another wrestler no matter how successful I am. But if I can take a mom and pop regional company with no major funding, no exposure from the major businesses, and I can take this company and these three logos and this vision I have, and I can, no matter how long it takes, I can take that company and make it known across the world.
Yeah.
Then that's something that nobody else has done,
bro.
And that's what I chase every day. I chase doing things that everybody looks at me and says, man, you're crazy for thinking you can do this. And I'm like, well, you think I'm crazy.
Correct.
Because you can't do it. But I can. And if I fail, I'll just pick myself back up.
Well, man, it's nothing but admiration on that, because like you're going, here's my vision, here's my dream, here's what I'm seeing, and I'm going to do it. And whether you see it or not, that's fine. You don't have to see my vision, but we're going to do this thing. It is not the path that is most traveled, and that is what's respectable about it. People want the hero story. They want to hear this person that's overcoming all these obstacles, but they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And they don't want, you know what I mean? And they don't want to be the guy in the story going, yeah, I told him that was stupid. He shouldn't do it. And then you're looking back going, oh yeah, that guy became Bill Gates. You probably shouldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm. And everything's crazy. Everything's crazy and far-fetched until somebody does it.
Correct.
Right. And that's from a trailblazing standpoint. Like I just have so much adoration there for you, and the pursuit is awesome.
Yeah.
And I love how you said it. Like you can go and do anything and just be another of that, but you're choosing a harder road. And that's that's awesome. I feel like that so many people would hear that, and not that there's an aspiration just to take a harder road, because naturally human, we're going to want the easier road, but you're seeing that there's more foundation, there's more growth opportunity there than just doing something a little bit more, maybe, mainstream per se. It's awesome.
Where do you want your legacy to be?
Yeah.
Like setting your legacy. What do you want? Do you want instant gratification? Because a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the ride with you, they want that destination. They want the finish, but they are not willing to go along with the journey.
Yeah.
And the journey, the ups and downs, man, this happened to me personally.
Yeah.
And I almost lost everything.
Yeah.
My life had become unmanageable, right?
Sure.
And I pulled myself out of there. And that was my bottom. Where is your bottom that you're going to hit, and how are you going to come back up from it? So you got to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Conviction
is it. I mean, it's dedication, but you got to realize motivation, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm motivated to do this, or I got a lot of passion or a lot of desire right now. All that is just happy is a feeling.
Yeah.
It fades.
Absolutely.
You have to have routine. My motto is routine, repetition, and those two things continually breed discipline.
Absolutely,
and if
man.
you don't have discipline, you're going to get up one morning. Do you know how many times I go to that hot building over there off a garden, and maybe not enough people show up over the years, or they do, but man, I'm tired, or I'm sick, or I don't want to be there. I'm like, man, there could be something else to do.
Yeah.
And I just go.
Yeah,
I get up every morning. I just keep 4 o'clock. My alarm goes off. Whether 11 months ago I left my job.
Yeah,
and my higher power, God, started telling me, it's like, bet on yourself.
Yeah,
I never knew how to pray.
Sure,
I started learning how to pray, and I realized, man, God's not in a box at a certain time
No.
with everybody else. He's everywhere.
Absolutely,
He's
man.
around us.
Yeah.
And if you have a relationship with him,
Yeah.
that's the most beautiful thing.
That is, man.
This all has changed because of that right there.
Heck yeah, bro.
And that's something
incredible.
I felt before, but I got that on my side now. So my faith,
Let's go.
fear, I don't fear no more. It's a good thing.
Bro, it's so good.
Mhm.
You know, it's funny. What's hitting right on the head is 2 Peter 2 talks about the structure. It's this beautiful structure. It's this ladder. It starts with diligence. It says you want to be like one with God, and you want to live this wonderful life. Well, it starts with diligence. And then diligence brings self-control. And then self-control brings understanding. Understanding brings sacrifice. And it just starts this whole process to become somebody that is refined and loved. And it says in the end, it creates community. It creates love and like it's this beautiful journey. And what you're talking about, literally, is that. You're describing it. And it's so important to have that conviction of higher power. Because if you think that you can do everything on your own, you're going to disappoint yourself real fast. And then you're going to be heartbroken. And, you know, you're going to become another part of the statistic.
I was part of the statistic.
Yeah.
Until I realized that. That's the thing is like, you know, everyone always says, well, it's anonymous. And I've never been one to shy away from anything. So I got a year and a month, a little bit over a month in my recovery. The greatest sponsor in the world. And a lot of people laughed at me because my sponsor is a female. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do this. You can't do that. And I'm like, and once again, I just went at this to work.
Yeah.
And now everybody in that program who kind of snarky or whatever at me or like whatever. Now those people realize like, oh man, he was serious about what he was doing.
Absolutely.
And he got through it. And that's the thing. If you, and I preach this, there's so many different religions, right? And I'm not a big talk about religion guy, but what I'm starting to understand is like, there's all these different religions, but God is the, it's that identifying word of what this is.
Sure.
You see a picture of Jesus, you see a picture of Mary, you never see a picture of God. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, you
no, exactly.
Sunlight and everything.
Precisely.
He's whatever you want him to be.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have done this. You cannot do this without, like you said earlier, that higher power.
Yeah.
If you don't have something else,
you
can't do this on your own.
Straight up, man.
You cannot. And if you think you can, that's that instant gratification
Absolutely.
we're talking about.
Well,
so
then you're your own hubris. You are only impressing yourself. You're only doing something for yourself. And that high will, like you said, have a low. But that involvement of diligence, you know, I think of like back in the day when the oceans were unmarked. You didn't know. And the maps. I like looking at old maps, like we were looking at 12th century, 11th century maps. And there's just these creatures and monsters. And it's just like, here's what we know. And here's what we don't know. And it's like, whoa, there's a lot there. But in that, the men that went on the boat knowing they didn't know if they were going to come back. They didn't know what was going to happen. They're like, I just feel like I'm supposed to go out there and explore. That was that. It's the call to adventure.
Yeah.
And when you get that call and you take that call, you will be surprised every single time when you go, I wonder if I could do this. And you go, oh, wow. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, we did it. And then you grow from adventure to adventure, which leads you to another adventure. And so people that stay so confined that they sacrifice all of adventure to watch other people's adventures and then go, why can't I have an adventure? Let's just sit behind the screen watching other adventures, man. But the whole point is to call. And
beyond that, the second that many have any sort of shortcoming or any kind of like I love these stories, and sometimes I'll remind myself of them daily. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team.
Straight up.
Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for not being creative enough. Not to mention Edison's thousands of failed attempts at light bulb, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Right? All those names will live on for the next thousands of years. And there was failure very, very early on in their careers.
Absolutely.
Right? So many only ever get that far.
Yeah.
Right? So many will only ever get to, all right, well, maybe it wasn't basketball. I mean, he could have had that thought. Maybe it wasn't for him. And now all these years later, goated, you would have never known that name, right?
Yeah.
And there's hundreds of those stories in history, but people shy away from failure. They're like, I'm scared to start because I'm scared to fail. They're like, no. fail as quick as you can.
Yeah.
And then better yourself, and then fail again.
Yeah.
And then better yourself, because that is the boundary, right? That's part of the best structure to allow you to propel forward, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about like a rocket without the cone and without the structure is just an explosion, right? But when it has that structure, when it has that discipline, that thing is going to launch. So it's like the difference. Oh man, and I'm like speaking to myself, and I'm like speaking to the freaking world right now. Like the difference between
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
The difference between failure and success is so close. It's just like that next thought during or after failure. What do you do with it?
Yep.
Like, do you just, yeah, I guess that's me. I guess it didn't work out. Or you say, you know what? That wasn't an L. Let me learn from it, and let me get better.
How do we adapt and overcome?
100%. When it feels like it's not going to happen, when it feels that it's worse, that's when I've always learned that's when it's close.
Yeah.
You just have to, it's not going to be given to you.
No.
Yeah.
Financially, it's going to go down, and you're going to go, ooh, I don't know. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
You're like
Keep going.
right at the brink.
If I have to go get another job when that lowers down and I can't keep it then I'll go do that.
Yeah.
But right now I don't have to. So there's no financial insecurity for me where I'm like, should I invest this and that? Yeah, I should. Because if I don't, no risk, no reward. They say it all the time.
Absolutely.
All these catchphrases that they have in life. And you're like you just said, goated.
Yeah.
And you were talking about that. I was listening craziest thing is I was listening to Barry Bonds, right?
Mm.
And I think he's the greatest hitter of all time.
Amazing.
I think Junior has a better swing.
Yeah.
I think Barry's the best,
Okay.
bar none. Hey, he might have taken some HGH and some steroids.
Sure.
But that's hand-eye coordination.
Yeah,
I watched this guy rip a homer off a left-handed Randy Johnson, send it into the bay, right? And Barry says, and it's perspective, how you look at it. Barry says, hey, what about a 100-mile-per-hour fastball? And Barry says, oh, man, that's no problem. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, there is a catcher squatted down with an umpire behind him, catching 100 of those 100-mile-per-hour fastballs with the glove and throwing them back to the pitcher all night long. He said, I just changed the object I'm catching it with. He says, I go up to the plate already at 0-2. He says, there's 7 other players out there and a catcher. He says, my battle's with the pitcher. As long as he doesn't strike me out, then I beat him. It doesn't matter if they catch the ball. So it's how you look at the perspective of everything. And I look at it with my training, right?
Yeah.
So I am never okay with just basic. It's been about training the whole time, because the reason the audience in wrestling goes, oh, that's fake. Like you hit a guy across his chest and it's weak. And then the crowd goes, oh man, that was weak. And then the wrestler turns and goes, well, you want to get in here and let me hit you? And the fans like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. Well,
An
come on.
errant punch, right? A punch that doesn't connect. And the fan yells the same thing. You suck. And that's weak. Oh, you want some of me? And the fan's like, yeah, I do. You as the performer got away. This is a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're telling a story here.
Absolutely.
This is psychology.
Straight up, man.
Buy in.
There's psychology with like what we're doing to each other, but the psychology of wrestling is called crowd psychology. So when I say it's improv, I mean it.
Yeah.
It's like we are literally doing this on the fly and listening to the audience. That's why they say I'm timeless. It's a lost art. And then they also say, I heard a wise man once say, you have to learn how to work first.
Yep.
Before you can choreograph.
Yep.
And when he said that to me, and this was like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I've been in the business 25 years at this point, and I heard that, and I'm like, that's what I love about wrestling. You're always learning. So what he means is, if you don't know how to do this,
Yeah, absolutely.
you can't envision like, oh, this might work with this audience.
Yeah.
So I always tell guys that come at me and they're like, oh, drop tackle, drop down, leapfrog, drop kick, hip, and I'm just like, whoa, man. I said, I'll remember one thing. Sequence is what I call it. I call it a sequence. I'll remember one thing you're telling me you want me to remember.
Yeah.
And then if it comes up in the match at the right time and the audience is making the right noise, I'll give that to you. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
But I ain't remembering this other stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna. My brain is not gonna take this in.
You also have to be unscripted enough to hear what the crowd is wanting. Right? Like that's Quiet.
I'm just wanting to make
Here
sure
we
people
go,
can hear
ladies
you.
and gentlemen. I'll be improv, right?
Look, everyone's gonna be cheering on. They're like, smack that small kid. I'm like,
No.
okay.
That's awesome, man. Tell us a little bit more about the event.
All right, so it's Friday, June 27th. The doors open at 6:30. The show starts at 7. It's this first one is first come, first serve, because I don't know when we get in there with the layout, so I don't know how many front row seats we'll be able to.
Sure.
So now for $15 on this very first one,
Yeah.
if you're there first, usually we can get about 60, 70 people in the front row.
Yeah.
But this is PCW Limelight.
It's gonna be awesome.
This is my baby. This is our flagship YouTube show.
So good.
And we've never got to film it, right?
Yeah.
And I am finding out I'm promoting heavy in Yuba City. We just did the summer stroll.
Yeah.
That was the last half of it was fun.
Yeah.
But I tried to tell them, hey, let's just do one event at the end when it cools down.
Sure.
They wanted entertainment the whole day. I'm like, what's the point of standing out here?
Yeah.
Killing ourselves if no one's there to
That
watch
was
the
such a hot day, too.
It was miserable.
It was the hottest day we've had.
Yeah, I saw people like just walking through the summer stroll, and I'm like, oh my God.
I had the wife beater on. I had the tank top on. And by the time I made it to my match,
Bring it out.
no, I had the tan. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh man, they're going to laugh at me when I go out there. But then someone whiter than me
Yeah.
had the same tan, and I
Oh,
sent
that's
him out first.
You're like, yeah, go ahead, man. You warm them up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna everything they would say to me, they're gonna already
They're
bury.
gonna get it out of their system.
Yeah, they're gonna bury this kid right
Oh.
here. So
You're
I'll
like,
be fine.
and they're like, no, he's just the second version. We're fine. We got it out of our system.
Oh yeah.
So first come, first
from
serve. A week from today, it's going to be up on there. We'll actually we'll see what we can do about editing to get this posted today. So that way it's because we normally do the next
Appreciate that.
week, but we'll see what we can knock out. So in that, man, you got this event, you're getting it rocking. What's the future goals for it? Because you seem like a guy that is not hey, this is I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
As of everything we've talked about and all the diligence and everything we've had, what's the goals, man? What's shoot for the stars?
Well, the goal here is like when I first looked at it, I was like, well, the first one we got to see if it works out, right? So if it's worth our time,
Yeah.
if it's worth their time,
Yeah.
And the only thing that was open was the fourth Friday of every month. You know, they had their archery, their roller skating, their improv, all that stuff. So the goal with this was when I was thinking, I'm like, are we going to do it bi-monthly? Is monthly too much? And then I thought in my head, I'm like, no, there's nothing going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to get caught in this phase here where I was like, man, what am I going to do?
Sure.
I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to drink because I don't have nothing else to do.
Sure.
And there's nothing going on. And Marysville, I hate to say it, is in financial stress. I went, I promoted in there these last few weeks, you know, and Marysville, it needs something going on in this place.
Yeah.
The Tri-Counties Community Center, the Youth Center. A lot of people don't know it's there.
Yeah.
So for us, they need to they need to do some modifications, and
absolutely
they need new carpet. I'm going to tell you that much right now, and
so
it's knock on it, but
so it's a win-win for both you guys.
Yeah,
to be able to help invest back in the community. At the same time, you're also able to pursue your dreams, and both ships will sail the same way.
And I'm under the you know, I've been doing this long enough with anything, and it's like I said, it's consistency.
Yeah.
So maybe this one only draws 100, 150 fans.
Yeah.
And maybe it starts building up and it becomes something that the fourth Friday of every month, you and your family know, hey, I can go to the Tri-Counties Community Center and I can watch this event on Friday nights. And having it on Friday is a beautiful thing, especially during the summer, because a lot of people are like, man, I'm camping, I'm going to the lake, I got plans. Well, I get up, they still work.
Yeah.
So we get off work on Friday, a couple hours later, we can go to this wrestling event, and then we can still have plans on Saturday,
absolutely,
Sunday,
100%.
The rest of your weekend.
Because when you do shows on Saturdays,
it's
now
you're getting with the birthday parties, and there's that, and there's the baseball, and
everything,
all the da-da-da-das,
all the da-da-da-da.
He's right. He is very right about that.
3 kids, there are a lot of da-da-da-da-da-da-das.
Yep,
dancing baseball.
I just think
That's awesome, man.
I just heard yada 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 in my head.
Yeah, same.
And
I'm excited. I want to check this out.
No, me too.
For you, you're a big guy, man. You're a big guy.
What do we got?
We have 2 days after 1282 Hassett Avenue, Building 9, next to the softball fields off Garden Highway. PCW Living the Dream. The contest to win free pro wrestling training at 11 a.m. And one male, one female. It says it right there. Are you the next PCW superstar?
Could you be, Cameron? What would your name be?
That's the question.
I don't know.
You could just call yourself the accountant.
Show up in a suit and just rip it off.
Yeah. Play a lawyer role. You could be the lawyer guy that actually comes out.
The suit, and then you stare it off.
I've got an issue with another wrestler.
Yeah.
I've brought in the bad guys, brought in his own attorney.
We already have a backstory.
Bro,
Stop.
I love it.
Stop.
I love it. It's too easy. And you can bust out. You probably still have those outfits that you used.
Oh, guaranteed I do.
You probably, and you didn't. You're the same.
I will be little 6-year-old Cam from 1994 is ready to. All these years later, ready to shine.
You'll look like Lou Ferrigno.
It's gonna be awesome.
Hulk.
I'm in.
Just
green paint and all.
Hey, man. Cam, you do look like the Hulk.
It does.
Ready.
He's got that vibe.
Lou Ferrigno. Yeah, you hit it spot on.
Thank you.
No, you hit it spot on right there.
More after this episode. See how much they can talk about.
Awesome.
So this event is a week from today. It's what time?
Well, Limelight is next Friday.
Yes,
and
that's what's in Marysville.
Yeah.
Yep. At the MyCC.
Marysville, 7
California.
is when we start.
7 o'clock.
And Living the Dream is 2 days later on Sunday at 11 a.m. at our training facility at the Pizza Guys Arena.
Love it.
Off of Garden Highway. And I mean, we always get guys that come out to it, and we've got some girls, but what's really big right now in any sport, boxing, MMA, pro wrestling, basketball, WNBA is getting bigger. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, all women's sports and athletics are getting really big. So, I mean, for some reason, I go everywhere and I work with a lot of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Shotzi Blackheart. She was on SmackDown, the green-haired girl.
Mm-hmm.
I worked a lot with her back in the day, and I work a lot with the women's wrestlers. But I just, for some reason, I don't know if it's the area or what it is, I can't get females that are interested. Oh yeah, and then Ethan Reno is one of my students. I don't, and I go to, when I was going to his River Valley things, those the big wrestling events, I would see like 40 young females wrestling, and they're just amazing on the mat. I'm like, I don't even got to teach them how to do any of that stuff on the mat because they're already better than me at it. And they're only like 14 to 17 years of age. It's like, if I could get 6 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I could just walk out there and just pluck the 6 I want and then say, here's how you run the ropes, hit the corners, and here's how you take a bump. And that, my friends, is where that's where we separate the men from the boys or the women from the girls.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's not natural to fall on your back.
No.
At all. So you find out firsthand when you get them in there. And that's the first, once I get them stretched out, that's the first thing I do. Go grab that rope, make a table, tuck your chin. We teach them how to do it. But if you hit that mat and it's just not for you, then this ain't, it ain't going to work. I remember the first time I hit the mat, they looked at me and they said, how'd that feel? And I'm so passionate about this and I wanted to do it. I was like, oh, it felt great. And then in my head, I'm going, oh God, I got to do this.
Again,
regularly.
Again.
Oh man, there's so many ways there's only one way to hit the mat, but there's so many different variations, going backwards, jumping up, flipping forward, off your hands. And every time you hit it, it is the equivalent to a 21 mile per hour car accident.
Yeah.
So this thing right here, this entertainment that we do for everybody, for your our bodies, just hitting. If I got to take if I got to land 5 times on my back in one night, and I only do 4 good ones, that one bad one, it's going to get me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could put me out. And you were talking earlier about concussions.
Yeah.
And I've had 10 diagnosed, right?
Yeah.
10 diagnosed concussions.
Those are just the diagnosed ones.
Yeah, those are just the diagnosed ones, because back when we started, you just grab a steel chair and slug your best friend in the head with it and think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And land on the concrete and whack your head. And that's the thing about tucking your chin and doing this properly is so many times it's so easy to bounce your head.
Yeah.
Like if you in wrestling, you got to come straight down. If you go out, you're going to go out and you're going to whip.
Yeah.
And if your head bounces off that mat, like, if your body hits and then your head hits,
Oh yeah, no.
100% concussion.
Tweety birds.
Oh yeah, and it's those Tweety birds, but it's those neon green, yellow spots that are everywhere. And there's so many concussions, and I pride myself on coaching this business safely.
Yeah.
I don't need my guys. I don't really do like matches.
Sure.
I know a lot of schools do matches. Like, oh, we're gonna have match night, or I don't do that. Here, fundamentals.
Yeah.
Who's the best shortstop?
Yeah.
The best shortstop, and he's making millions of dollars a year, is the guy out there on shortstop. Well, some fat guy with a fungo bat rips ground balls at him, and he fields them and puts them in a bucket. And then he fields them and throws them to first.
Yeah.
Practice your 3-point.
Absolutely.
That you just practice the basics and fundamental. Because look at Kobe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He couldn't 360 windmill jam no more at the end, but his fundamentals and his knowledge of the game. Yeah. Oh, beautiful, man.
No, that's amazing, man. That's absolutely amazing. So yeah, no, definitely. And then so it's next Friday night, 7 p.m. at My CC in Marysville. Head out there, $15 a ticket, which is amazing, by the way. $15, that's solid. You could go and watch a movie you don't like, or you could go and check out some wrestling and have a blast. Because the energy at a wrestling show, if nobody has gone, the energy at a wrestling show is contagious. Where you're like, okay, all right, I gotta go to the other one. I gotta go again. I gotta go, because it is like you're saying. You guys have figured and mastered the art of the crowd work, and I've been to many shows, and every time I go, I'm like, all right, and I go and I'm like, this was so awesome. I can't wait for the next one, and I ride that high, and I'm like, okay. And everyone's like, never been to a wrestling show. I'm like, bro, we gotta go.
Awesome.
And if you got kids, I heard you had 3 of them. If you got kids, it's a great way to put them to sleep at night.
I
just let them go.
I want my kids to start surplexing each other, off of couches, and it's gonna be good for them.
Just release them. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people, bring their kids.
Yeah.
And they let their kids just go.
Have fun.
And sometimes you have some very aggressive kids. We had a kid last time that one of the bigger wrestlers got in his face, and the kid literally, I don't know, what's that movie, Bad Santa?
Yes.
Remember the kid in that movie?
Yeah.
He looked like that kid, right? Like pale skin, red hair, rosy red cheeks. And he just got up in the wrestler's face, and he reached, and the mom had to stop him, and security had to stop because he was going to punch him. And then I seen a sweet little kid. I was watching from the back, and something was going on out there, and he was so mad about it that I'm watching this kid, and security's not paying attention. And I watched this kid. He's got like a battery.
Yeah.
Or he's got something heavy in his hand. And I'm watching him nobody's paying attention to him but me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see how it played out.
Yeah.
And he's looking at the guy, and he walks over, and he gets himself lined up at the guardrail. He's like, all right, this is my perfect area.
Yeah.
This is it. And this kid, he looked like Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, and he just ripped that. Whatever he had in his hand, I'm assuming it was a Duracell copper top.
Yeah. Sure.
And he just hit the villain with his battery. And I go, get over here, kid. I'm like, get out of here. Don't do that again.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on.
But I thought it was great.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like,
next fourth Friday, we're going to work that into the script.
Yeah,
to be able to.
Yeah, you're going to be the Duracell. We're going to have this outfit for you.
That's crazy, though.
Love it, man.
He was
so in it.
Yeah.
He was
so
like,
in it, buying into the fact that
this is a bad guy. Yeah.
A bad guy needs to be taken out.
Yes.
I'm going to do my due diligence and launch this Duracell.
If we went to war, that kid, I would bring that kid with me.
You're like, heck yeah.
He strategically,
oh yeah,
on the fly, set up this amazing angle. There was a lot of thought that went into that one. He is a sniper because he hit right on the money too. It wasn't no wasted movement.
That's incredible, man. That's incredible.
No,
awesome. Well, Zach, thanks so much for talking with us, and
thank you guys for having me,
dude. And wish you the best of luck with everything you've got going on. Let us know.
Dude, sky's the limit.
It's
gonna ride, like we were just talking about a battery. This thing is gonna ride your energy.
Yep.
Right. And you said it well. It's like motivation will run out. Right. Yep. Joy is a feeling. Motivation will run out. But when you can then tap into that determination to continue to keep this thing going and pumping life into it, sky's the limit, man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Hey,
awesome.
Appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
I got tickets for you too.
Oh, sweet. I'm excited.
I'm in.
All righty.
Appreciate
Be sure to check it out, guys.
Let's go.
Bye.
Cut.